Alright, so welcome to another day of modifying Mazda 6s the way Mazda probably didn't intend for us to. I've done a little bit of work off screen. I don't have a cameraman right now or a tripod or anything that really helps with camera angles. So this is all going to kind of be impromptu and, well, follow along. Videos will get better, I promise. Alright, so on this side we still have the Mazda 6 strut. This is the Mazda 6 strut with a 2-inch lift block installed up at the top. And I'll switch the camera around. We are using my cell phone. You see here the control arm angle on this side. So on the other side here, I've installed the Mazda CX-5 strut with a 2-inch lift spacer, and you can see how much more extreme that lower control arm angle is. Actually, it's so extreme that I had to bend the subframe a little bit out of the way in order to get full articulation, in order to even bolt this setup in place. And you can see there's a ton more room in here. I've also cut out this fender, and I've clearanced a bit of the inner fender here. I'm going to be cutting out some of this and flat plating it. I've cut into the car a little bit here, which isn't really all that big of a concern to me at this point. We just plate over the top of it and do some seam sealer and undercoating, make sure that we don't get any water intrusion inside while we're doing adventure stuff. So I'm going to get the other strut assembled and installed on the other side, and yeah, we'll get it down on the ground and see what it looks like at full ride height. Alright, here you can see a side-by-side comparison of our two struts. Now, this is the Mazda6 front strut here on the left. As you can see, the Mazda CX-5 strut is a couple of inches taller. That plus the lift block, we should be sitting at about a total of 5 inches of suspension lift. So we're going to go ahead and get these thrown on along with the lift spacers, cut a little bit more, and see where we come out. I keep getting carried away and working without taking a video, but here we go. We got the front strut out of the car, as you can see here. I'm making some clearance. I did tweak this subframe a little bit in order to gain some articulation here, but I am having a problem where the control arm is running into the subframe here at this pinch weld. So I'm going to be doing, as you can see, I've started cutting. I'm going to cut a nice piece off of that to allow the control arm to droop. That way we are able to connect the strut to the spindle, and we're running into the axle before we get to the point where we can bolt the strut in. This side, it didn't really require that same treatment. I was able to just bend this part of the subframe down to gain some clearance, and I'm not even really touching here at the pinch weld here at full droop. Well, I'm gonna move on to modifying this side, and we'll pick back up where we left off. So here we are looking at the front. You can see we have made so much room, and there is so much room for turn in and movement. We're gonna put this down on the ground, and you can get your first look. I haven't even gotten to see the first look of this thing at full ride height here in the front. I'm just going to kind of get the camera positioned here and lower the car down. And now, as you can see, that's a ton of gap. That's going to all close up a little bit as I move the car. You can see the massive difference here between the front and the rear. Alright, so here it is sitting fully suspended on CX-5 front suspension with 2-inch lift struts. You can see, lift blocks, sorry. You can see here plenty of clearance. You get a little bit of rubs on tight turns, but overall not as bad as some of the crazy cars I've lifted. And you can see that rear is going to come up beautifully. Actually is a little bit limited by the rear shock still being Mazda 6 length, so this is actually going to come up a little bit more as we have some preload on that rear spring. And of course we're going to cut out this section here of the fender and get that all taken care of so that we can fit those larger 32-inch Toyo MTs onto our Mazda 6 sedan. Big excitement as we've kind of tackled this part of the build, and next video we'll be cutting that rear out, getting the rear tires fitted, get it on the alignment rack, and start screwing around and seeing what it's capable of. If you had a good time watching the content, you want to see this thing become the monster that it will soon become, be sure to consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Helps the channel out, helps keep you informed of new stuff going on. And next video coming up, we'll start trimming up that rear, and we'll start getting the Miata and some videos here coming up with some off-road action. Alright, well, this is all the things we have for today, so I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. See you next time.